Trek, the grandpa of all sci-fi. I mean, it's so old it should be taking Geritol. Star Trek has had such good episodes like The Doomsday Machine and many more. If you do not know the plot of Star Trek, allow me to summarize it accurately. My name is Captain Kirk, and I always take breaths in my sentences. For no reason, I don't know why. If you need the actual plot summary for Star Trek, just Google the intro. I don't need to summarize it at this point, I hope. A Star Trek animated series, and no, I'm not talking about the recent one that came out on Paramount Plus. I'm talking about the older one that sucks really bad. Let's go where no one has ever gone before, and then turn right back around because we forgot our wallet. You would recall back in my No Holds Barred review where everything was clipped up and the voices were high pitched. Well, unfortunately, that's the same way the clips in this episode are. I'm sorry for your inconvenience. Our episode opens up on Kirk reading his diary. Oops, I mean giving the star date. Anyway, the USS Enterprise is being pulled in by a tractor beam that they can't escape, and they're receiving strange radio transmissions. Strange radio transmissions? This can only mean one thing. Alex Jones is warning us about space gay frogs!
It's beautiful.
If by beautiful you mean what leftovers look like after Samantha eats them, because that thing is dark and horrifying. Some of you might be wondering why that was the first clip I played of the show. Well, it's simply because the animation is so bad I don't want you guys to look at it. It looks worse than the original Scooby-Doo from 1969, seriously. As you can tell, the animation is rather stiff, and they use a lot of zoom-ins, which if you saw the Matilda review, you know I'm not a fan of zoom-ins. I mean, don't get me wrong, zoom-ins can use to be effectively, but here it's just not. I'm just not a fan of zoom-ins, especially when people read. It's just one of Pacific pet peeves of mine. The Enterprise manages to escape the tractor beam, and they find out that the radio transmission came from a ship that's long dead. Spock says the ship has been dead for 1,000,000 years, which, fun fact, that's the same amount of time it takes me to make one of these reviews. Kirk and the team go to investigate the strange ship. Kirk and the away team beam up to the ship, and they find out that the original inhabitants of the ship were killed by an energy parasite. The parasite attacks them, and then this happens. This episode of Star Trek was directed by Michael Bay. Crew beam up back to the Enterprise, but the parasite follows them, and then the parasite possesses the ship. Because the ship is possessed, the parasite asks for a sacrifice. For sacrificing the turtle.
2 hours later.
Turns out he didn't want to sacrifice. He wants to go to a place called the G1 Star. Spock and Kirk trick that parasite into thinking that they're going to crash into the planet, so the energy parasite flees the space. Anyway, that's basically where the episode ends. Yes, I'm serious. While the episode is bad, it does have potential. I do think the concept of a being possessing the Starship Enterprise is a good concept, but in the execution is where it falls apart. For example, the stiff animation, and the fact that we don't get any details on what the being is. All we know is that it's an energy parasite that killed people. We have no idea why or where it came from. It's a good concept, but it lacks in execution. Animation and the zoom-ins are practically garbage. Overall, it just feels like a first draft without any of the finer details worked out. I have 2 things to say before I sign off. I'm thinking about starting a schedule, as in I upload on a certain day. I'm thinking Thursday. Tell me what you guys think. Also, my friend found a turtle and we named it Dimitri. Anyway,